Greetings WordPressers, Jackson here. Welcome to the channel. Nice to have you as always. So there are three only as it stands, hosting platforms that I recommend to my clients and also that I host my own sites on. All three are very, very good options. And it's not so much that I like one over the other or there's pros and cons. It's just that, they generally have different features that are good for one scenario or another, depending on the type of site, etc. But as you well know, my number one requirement, and this goes for any host, is site speed. Faster sites equal less energy, greener internet, all that sort of jazz. Let's see my other vids for where I rabbit on a lot about that. And of course, my top three recommendations all meet that requirement by quite some margin. I mean, they've all got the right stuff to make the site speed happen, along with various other bits and pieces that just make them the right choice for any sort of professional WordPress hosting. Things like amazing infrastructure, great caching, specialist pro WordPress optimizations, which all contribute to them being like, getting to that fast status that is my preference. But there's one thing that can really help in the speed stakes, and that is using a CDN, a content delivery network. Oh yes. TLDR, this is where you have real copies of your website spread all over the world. So wherever your visitor is, they're getting served the files and the media, all the stuff that the browser needs to deliver the web experience from as close to them as possible. Like, if your server is in Australia and your visitor is in Scotland, they're getting the files from somewhere in England or Scotland, which is super and very essential if you are a global brand. And one of my top three recommendations, or in my top three recommendations, is the mighty Kinsta hosting. Super powerful and hyper optimized for WordPress. I mean, it's pro through and through, thoroughbred, includes all the stuff I was mentioning earlier, but it also comes with CDN built in out the box, and it uses the epic Cloudflare, which is kind of like the de facto go-to best in class CDN there is out there, and at no extra charge, no bolt on, no extra fees, nothing. It's just like that's there from the get-go. And let me tell you, Kinsta hosting is staggeringly fast. So in today's video, I'm going to take you through Kinsta and its features that gets it into my top three recommended hosts, and why I reckon it could just be the king of WordPress site speed. So no surprises, it is a 2024 default install on my Kinsta account, and let's just get into the meat and potatoes. Look at this, 94 on performance straight off the bat. I mean at this point we could just sort of like stop the video and go get Kinsta. There's a little bit more to explore, but 94 off the bat is about as good as I've ever seen from any host, and with a little bit of optimization on the images and on the fonts, because 2024 is a bit heavy in that department, that'd be 100. End of story. Discussion over. I mean, it really is insanely fast, out of the blocks, amazing stuff. But let's explore some more stuff about Kinsta and just why exactly it is so fast. What else makes Kinsta so fast? Well, it runs on the premium tier of Google Cloud Services. Now, if we have a little look at their blurb here, host your WordPress sites on the highest end CPUs and global availability thanks to Google's fastest servers and premium tier network. You can't actually get much faster infrastructure than this. So what else? I mean, we talked about the CDN, and if we scroll down, we'll see that the service has a ton of data centers all around the world. That's the green ones here. But they're also backed up by that extraordinary CDN service, Cloudflare. And all the little orange dots are where your website is hosted independently from your home server. It's global coverage, and that's what makes it so flaming fast. And if you've got a really heavyweight site, and what I'm talking about here is when you've got like a massive membership site or a really heavy e-commerce site, well, let's have a look at this. You've got this add-on which you can pay for, and I think at time of writing it's like $100 a month. But I mean, this is for like uber speed. So if you've got like, here we go, like membership sites, forums, discussion boards, blogs, you know, if you add in the Redis cache, that will essentially sort of cache some of the database queries. I mean, look it up. I mean, it's what you need when you are dealing with big, heavyweight dynamic sites. Plumb that in, and that takes care of stuff if you've got a monster dynamic heavyweight site. I mean, you won't need this if you've got a regular site. You just won't need it. But if you need to up the ante, Redis cache does it for you. So those are the other things I think sort of like contribute to Kinsta being like just like super king of WordPress website speed, hosting speed. But also why it's in my top 3 of WordPress hosts is, you know, obviously speed is number 1 because of all the benefits that brings. But it comes with all the other stuff as well. I mean, it's just right up there with all the features you kind of need, kind of expect these days for premium WordPress hosting. Yep, stay on your cheapie and you won't get this. But, you know, if you want proper professional hosting, this is the one for you. Right, what else have we got? Well, let's dive into the back end. If we go to my control panel here on my Kinsta account, well, it's a demo Kinsta account, not my real one. You see I've got a couple of WordPress sites here. So I mean staging, yeah, so I've got a staging site here set up. Wanted to set up a new staging or an original staging. You just go bang, create a staging site. And what I tell you what I like about Kinsta as well is that you can choose a premium environment. So this means you get like verbatim resources. So if you want to really test for performance and stuff, you actually get like a verbatim version of your server. A lot of hosts will sort of give you a scaled down version. So if you just want to muck around, choose standard. And if you want to get real about it, launch a premium staging, and then you can test for real world or live performance stats and know that what you're seeing is what you're going to get when you push it live. Obviously staging, bit of a given. In fact, most of this stuff is a bit of a given, and Kinsta does it so well. Right, what else have we got? I mean, we got stuff like, you know, the usual stuff. I mean, this is all expected, by the way. I mean, I wouldn't expect it not to have this if it's in my top 3 hosts. Your domain management, so when you launch your site, you can plumb your domain into it and all that sort of stuff with search and replace for URLs and stuff in your database and all that sort of good stuff. Of course, there's backups. It's daily. You can add extra ones. You can add hourly. Of course, do your manual ones. And what I love about this, what I love about Kinsta is that you can actually download your manual backups as well, which I think is bonus ball. And you can also send them to an external storage service, which I think again is another bonus ball, and just one of those things that I love particularly about Kinsta. There's a ton of tools. I mean like I said, this is stuff I would expect from the sort of tier of hosting, the price of hosting that we're talking about. I mean, it's kind of a given. All of these are sort of definitely on the checklist when you're choosing your hosting. But I mean, it's just standard stuff, search and replace, WordPress debugging, forcing HTTPS, change the PHP. I mean, it's all kind of like just standard stuff, but it's very easy to use. And it just should be there. And you know what? A lot of so-called premiums don't have this. Sometimes it's hidden away. Sometimes it's not available at all. Loads and loads of great stuff there. Cheeky stuff like redirects if you don't use that as a plugin on your site itself. Plugins and themes. I mean, this is great. I mean, you can actually update plugins from the control panel itself, including deleting them. You know, maybe you did an update and it killed your site. I mean, you can disable it and then sort it all out. And it's a lovely place to have it outside of the WordPress admin. Love that. There's also a ton of add-ons you can deploy if your site gets bigger. You're so successful. Of course, you need some more disk space. Of course, you need extra PHP memory, or maybe you want hourly backups. I mean, it's just, you know, it's kind of like a shopping list. As you become more successful, this platform will grow with you. We can stop IP addresses. If you're getting a load of hassle from some weird robots and stuff like that, very good. Of course, analytics. And this is analytics primarily for the health of your server, and you can see peaks and troughs and how it's performing, along with a little bit of user data as well. Lovely. And then of course we've got the caching, which is really where, you know, Kinsta excels. The edge caching, as previously mentioned, is just off the chart, because let me get back here. You get this out of the box with just by turning your website on. 50% faster websites, because of this wonderful edge caching, which works in sort of tandem with the CDN seamlessly. I mean, you actually don't have to do anything. This is the point. Right, what else? APM. So this is basically, it's a bit like a sort of extended error log. You can actually sort of analyze what's going on with your application and sort of debug when PHP is getting hammered and stuff like that. And remember, this is all built in. You know, there's no extras for this. So if you've got a few probs, then switch it on. Don't leave it on the whole time because it will impact your site speed, etc. And you can debug, and it's a lovely little extra that comes as part of the package. User management. So of course, if you want to, you know, let your devs go on there, or you've got an assistant that needs to go in there and do stuff, along with activity. And of course, you've got logs to show exactly what's been going on when it's been going on, if you need to debug anything. And there is, of course, one of the mightiest things about Kinsta, which is the security. Let's scroll down a bit. We can see some info about this. So built-in firewall, obviously SSL given, HTTP 3 out the box, which is great. Obviously we talked about backups, but it also does uptime check. You've got your dev access through SFTP and SSH, which is lovely. But my favorite is this fella here. Look at this. And I'm going to read this out for you. We have hardware firewalls, active and passive security, and other advanced features to prevent access to your data. And this is the gold. This is the gold. If you have a compromised site, we'll fix it for free. So if you're like, and at this, I don't know of any other hosting service that provides this. So if for some whatever reason, I'm sure it wouldn't happen given the level of security we've got on Kinsta. But if it did, they're going to fix it for you. They're going to clean your site, and you'll be back up and running before you know it. That, my dear friends, is an absolute winner. There's a ton of stuff, and this is not a full end-to-end review of every feature, but I mean, there's stuff like the developer tools, if you're that way inclined, or your devs are. And of course, we can't leave without saying that their support, Kinsta support, is, I mean, I can't say it's second to none, because I wouldn't recommend a host if it didn't have absolutely rock solid 24/7 support, because that's what you need in this day and age, and theirs is absolutely superb. So yeah, it's all there, every little part of it. It's why I recommend Kinsta. And don't forget that CDN out the box is fierce. Link is in the description to find out more about Kinsta, but do let me know in the comments what your views are on hosting and premium pro WordPress hosting. What's your favorite? Let me know. But until next time, I shall see you later.